Welcome in to the channel Tennessee Podcast. It is December the 14th. The year is 2025. It's a frigid night on December 14th. It is bone-chilling cold outside right now. If you have not been outside, just stay inside because it's bone-chilling. But anyway, let's get this podcast started. Tennessee had made a move, and that needed to be made. Tennessee made a move that needed to be made. The 2026 schedule is out. Indiana's Fernando Mendoza wins the Heisman. And Diego Pavia says, F all the voters. F all the voters. Let's take a look around the country. Let's grade the coaching carousel. Who did well and who did not do well. Michigan job is now open. We'll talk about that too as well. But let's talk, my friends. Let's talk. But before we talk, this podcast is brought to you by Southern Turf. 'Tis the turf season. Want a yard that is clean and green year-round? How about no muddy paws? Or a place for your significant other to go outside, let's say as a putting green. Go outside on a putting green. Call Scott from Southern Turf at 704-960-2651 for all your artificial turf needs. That is Southern Turf. And Scott with Southern Turf. All right, my friend, let's talk. Tennessee made a move this past week that I know that you are thrilled about, that you are just screaming from the top of a mountain that needed to be made. We'll start off with that, and then we're going to jump to the Heisman thing because I want to talk about that too as well, and then we'll get to our schedule too. But Austin, tears of joy, my friend, tears of joy, especially from you because you've been clamoring for it forever, and the majority of the fan base has too. But it's a move that needed to be made. Tim Banks is gone. He's fired. Your first initial thoughts. We haven't really talked about it yet, but we're here to talk about it now. So go ahead, Austin.
You know, if Diego Pavia made anything happen in his career, the most worthwhile thing he probably did was get Tim Banks fired. If we got to be honest here, because he didn't win a Heisman. He's not going to playoff. It's the greatest season of Vandy history, but it's just in modern history, but it's just like a footnote because nothing was really accomplished. They're going to the ReliaQuest Bowl, and they're having about the same result to their season as we are, but the biggest thing he can say he accomplished is he got Tim Banks fired. So thank you, Diego Pavia. That's the best thing you've ever done in your college career. Thank you. But yes, we hired Jim Knowles. He lastly was the DC for 1 year at Penn State, and previous to that, he was 3 years at Ohio State, where he finished it off with a national championship. And before that, he was at Oklahoma State for a few years, where he had them with a top 5 defense at Oklahoma State. And before that, he was with Cutcliffe for forever as a DC until about 2017. It's the among the names on the table for hiring for defense coordinator, I think that is the definitely the most proven, most decorated name you could have hired. Is it an absolutely perfect hire? There's no flaws with it. No, there are a bit of a cautionary things here and there. You know, this is a defense that it's not a cookie cutter defense. It's not gonna, it's not a microwave defense. It's not going to be perfect overnight. It's going to take a little time to learn it. He might have a bare bones version that he can go in with this season. Obviously, the portal will help with that because he can maybe pick and choose with some guys he might have coached with before and maybe know them. But for the options on the table, this is a big boy hire. This is a Josh Heupel is tired of just altogether worrying about defenses. So he hired a guy that it's going to take it off his plate. As long as this guy is in that position, I kind of think he can just not worry about it.
Yeah, and I think it's a pretty good hire. There were a lot of people complaining about it, which half the people complaining about it didn't even know his name before it was announced. But I did, and a lot of people that pay attention to football knew the name. Jim Knowles is a well-respected, known coach. Like, he hasn't gotten to where he's at by sucking. And he's been at some of the top programs in the country, like you said, Ohio State and then Penn State. But the whole argument of, oh, look at Penn State's defense this year, that's the dumbest argument of all time because your coach gets fired, everything just goes to hell in a handbasket. But his defense still didn't perform that bad this year, even though all that mess happened at Penn State. And we'll get to Penn State and all of those coaching carousels here in a little bit too, because I really want to talk about that because all the coaches have pretty much been hired with ones that have already been fired, so they've been replaced. But I like the Jim Knowles hire. I do. Just give me anything's an upgrade at this point from Tim Banks. Like Tim Banks was just so atrocious. His everything about his defense was just bad. It was just really bad. He give me a coach that can teach his kids how to tackle for one. Like tackle, don't take terrible angles. Anything's an upgrade. And you mentioned the transfer portal. I hope he does bring like over some guys from his previous stops that know the system already, and so it won't be that hard of an adjustment period. But you have heard that year one on the system it's tough to learn.
Yeah, it's a bit here and there, and he's an extremes coach. Like he'll run cover zero, and he's a risk taker. That's all I'll put him. But you know what he does? He never stops thinking, and he never stops trying things out. And that's what drove me insane with Tim Banks, because Tim Banks, it felt like we had one plan, and that was going to be the plan. We weren't going to make a QB think. If we didn't get to the QB somehow, some way, you're just welcome to pick us apart all day. Like we had no adjustments for so much of the year, and like, okay, people want to say, you were elite defensively in 2024, and I wouldn't say super elite, but we were pretty damn good on defense in 2024. We were, and it was a gradual up climb, like better every year in scoring defense until this season. And you want to say, oh, well, you didn't have Ricky Gibson, Jermon McCoy. And it's like, yes, those are reasons for why your defense would have taken a step back. I can agree with that. I will agree with that. I could argue you should have been more prepared, portal and whatnot, but I can agree that should have. That I understand why you take a step back. But here's the thing you got to do as well. Like you have to adjust. You have to do something to hide your deficiencies. You must, like, you don't just put them all on full display. You don't match your guy up man to man with the best receiver, one of the best receivers in the country. You don't match a true freshman man to man all day and just let that guy get exposed the entire day. That's just not. It's just not. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. And it just I get tired of seeing that. It's like we never made a QB think. We never ever made a quarterback think under Tim Banks. If we didn't have elite defensive players that just were going to get to the QB, then you're going to have all the success in the world against us. And that's what I hopefully Jim Knowles will improve on. Hopefully we just don't have that one track mindset any longer.
Well, again, you look at all the people that have transferred here in the past, like the McCoys and the Colton Hoods and stuff like that. They get here, and there's a reason why they're really good, because they haven't been taught to be bad. I have never seen so many defensive players that are taught to turn their backs away from the quarterback in my life, because you saw it, and you say the defense didn't make the quarterback think, and you're 100% right, because you looked at every defense, and when a quarterback like found something that worked, he never went away from it, because it was never any adjustments to make him go away from it. He just stayed with it. Like the Diego Pavia you mentioned earlier. Thank you, Diego Pavia, for getting Tim Banks fired. But Diego Pavia, he just ran up the middle the entire night because everybody just turned their backs and ran the opposite direction without even turning around. And he goes, well, if you're going to do that, I'm just going to run up the middle the whole time.
Yeah, ran for 100. Diego Pavia, 5'9", whatever. He ran for any comment I'd say is pretty bad. He ran for 160 some yards on your defense, and that's just, how do you let that happen? How and how do you force two turnovers? You had two turnovers, and he still scored what, like 45 points on you?
Yeah.
That's embarrassing. That's unacceptable. There's not enough words to describe how dumb it is. It's frustrating, and man, I'm just happy. I'm happy that we're making big boy calls and saying we need to
I agree.
change this.
Chris comments and said the Oklahoma game did it for me. 0 second half adjustments, no pressure on QB. I agree, but that was almost the whole entire season. The amount of times you did not rush the freaking quarterback or put any pressure on the quarterback, like you said, Austin, they didn't have to think. They made life easy for any quarterback back there. And so, yes, the adjustments were not there. There was nothing they did to make a quarterback think. Nothing they did to adjust to make the quarterback think. It was just so vanilla, so easy, and it was every game. It's the same game plan every game. But now we got a new coordinator. So my gosh.
I was thinking this over. I think this is like for a totally outside hire, no Tennessee connections, like David Cutcliffe or Chavis. I think this is probably the most decorated hire for a coordinator in Tennessee history. I really think so. Like, what's the others? Bob Shoop, Tim Banks, Alex Golish,
Yeah.
Jim Chaney. I think out of all those, this is probably the most decorated. Like, this is a national championship coordinator. This guy won a national championship doing this. He's still kind of in his prime. I mean, he's only a year and change removed away from that national championship. So it's a big boy hire. It's a hey, we're growing as a program. We're not desperate any longer. This is not a desperate hire. This is not a
No.
we'll take like Tim Banks, I'll be honest. It felt like kind of a desperate hire when we hired him. We got told no by anyone that was worth a damn, and we went and hired the co-DC at Penn State. That wasn't exactly like, oh, what a home run hire. You guys really went balls to the wall there. No, that was like, we hired the super offensive coach, and we'll take anyone really, and we are a mess already. So that was the kind of hire we made when we hired Tim Banks. This was okay. We've had what five good to great years in a row, and we are growing as a program. We're going up in our roster is improving year by year, but we're not seeing what we want at DC or at defense, and we just want to take care of this. And this is that kind of hire. I will say though, okay, I'm gonna bring this up and then answer it myself. A lot of people say, year one is tough with him. And that's true. It is true. It's true. Like everywhere you look, year one's the worst year he had anywhere. Anywhere, anywhere's ever been. And here's my reply though to that. Yeah, but anything is an upgrade from what we just had. Okay, man?
Yep.
It doesn't like
it is.
You're gonna tell me it's the worst year he's gonna have? Well, that's probably one of the better years Tim Banks will ever have. So let's just take that. Outside 2024, I'm pretty sure it'll probably be better. Here's the thing: you don't have to be super elite on defense. No one's really asking for that. I'm not asking for that. I mean, I'd love to have the best defense in college football. Don't get me wrong. I would love it. But with Josh Heupel's offense and whatnot, I understand that's probably never going to happen here under him. But just like be somewhere between 10 to 30. That's all I'm asking. 10 to 40 maybe.
Well, and here's the thing. People say that any coordinator that goes to Ohio State is going to look good because of the players they had. You put Tim Banks at Ohio State, and I want you to see if they're good. Okay, they might be fine because of the talent, but I guarantee you their defense is not going to look like that defense that won the national title. I'm sorry.
If Tim Banks can teach Caleb Downs to miss tackles, then I truly think that man has a gift for being a bad coach.
Yeah.
And God bless Auburn. They hired Tim Banks to be the defensive backs coach, which is the one position I felt like we could never get right here. So prayers, my friend, prayers.
Yeah. Golly. But yeah, we made that defensive hire. Collectively, Tennessee fans all agree it was a good hire. Like you can't be mad about that. And we kept Joey Halzle and wide receivers coach. What's his name?
Kelsey Pope
and Joey Halzle. I'm not mad about it. They weren't the issue.
I like King Kelsey Pope. He's had a great time
Pope
recruiting.
Is so good. Well, and he's good.
I was very mad at him. I was very mad at him this time last year because of we had a rough year at receiver, but I think he's really done better this year, and he's been really good on the trail too.
Well, our receivers are really. You can have you can have a down year as long as you prove that you can develop. And looking at the wide receivers this year, like they're clearly better than they were last year.
And did we blame Kelsey Pope in 2024 for a lot of the problems that were probably Nico?
Yeah, the wide receivers love him too. You have Staley, his dad, when he was Staley's dad, when it was announced that he will be back as our wide receivers coach. and Halsey was back as our offensive coordinator, he was like, "Hell yeah, let's go." So the players want him. I don't think the players really had a tough time with saying goodbye to Banks. Like no one, there was no argument from anyone. Like even the
Yeah,
players' parents
isn't
came
that
nowhere.
wild?
Nope.
Isn't that wild? Like
Yeah.
I honestly haven't ever seen something like that, like so extreme. Like, and I never hear about Banks was like crucial in the recruitment of this guy. I never hear that. I'm not trying to make it seem like what I saw from the booth or something, but he always just kind of looked a little lazy to me. I don't know. I don't know. Just kind of like lackluster and didn't really, in his game plans didn't seem like they had a lot of thinking to them as well. So I don't
No.
know. I was never that, I was, I don't think Tim Banks ever had that big of a fan club. I might have, I was pretty happy with his defenses in 2024, but I think it was more or less the talent he had and, just a lot of good situations. Like Will Brooks was an elite guy, and that really was just kind of a lucky break for him, in my opinion. Um, and that's a lot of football. Let me don't get me wrong. A lot of coaches get fired just because well, I had bad football players. It's not necessarily means I was a terrible coach, but I never looked at his defensive schemes or whatever and thought, man, this is great. And
Uh huh.
the fact that our safeties were always the weakest link on the field, like they were always your worst position on defense. It was a guarantee, nearly outside of Alontae Taylor, Theo Jackson, which were not his recruits. Uh, I have nothing against Jay Jay McCullough or Andre Turntime, but I just was never really satisfied with what I
Right.
got there. It wasn't perfect. I will say though, you mentioned bringing back Kelsey Pope and Halsley. I not necessarily just I wasn't I was never outside of the when he was in the running for the Florida OC job. I was never really under the impression that Halsley wouldn't be here. What I kind of wanted to see was a co-OC role with him and Seth Luttrell. I kind of would like one of them to take over play calling duties. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if there's still any possibility for that because as far as I'm aware, Luttrell's probably still on the staff in some capacity. I know he's an analyst. But if that's a possibility still, I would love that. Because I want play calling to take away from Heupel, not because I think Heupel's just a terrible play caller. I just think it's a little too much on his plate
He's
right
doing too
now.
much. He's doing too much.
He's trying
You
to wear
you
every hat.
you could tell this year it wore on him like bad. Like you could tell it wore. You could tell how tired he was this year. It was. I agree with you on that in that sense. Like you need to take some pressure off Heupel because he seems like he's trying to do too much, and a lot a lot of times when coaches take that load off their shoulders and just let their coaches coach, it seems the team seems to play a whole lot better. It just
Hmm.
seems like he can focus on one thing, and that's being the head coach. Because you saw it with old boy at Missouri. You saw it with him.
Kiffin too.
And
Kiffin gave up
Kiffin,
play
Lane
calling,
Kiffin.
and it got a lot better. He said he saw the game so much better, uh, as a head coach because it was just like, oh, he didn't have to worry about that anymore. He
Yeah,
wasn't always thinking about that. Like I really and like even in my job, like I stopped doing certain things with my job, and I found I did other things better.
yeah,
Like it really can
mhm,
work like that.
yeah.
When you're trying to wear every hat and you gotta what do you call that? There's a word for it, but you got to hand off those duties. You need to, and that's what we need. That's what we need. I think he could really improve as a head coach by that. And I'm not. I don't know if the ship has sailed on that possibility. Because I think when the Vandy game happened, I think it was the moment we said, okay, we gotta absolutely nip every little thing in the bud after, right now. Like it was a bit of a we can't ever have a moment like this ever again. We will not sit here. This is above the standard of Tennessee football. Delegate, that's the word. Yeah,
We got two
delegate.
delegates in the comments.
Delegate.
Ronnie and Mark both
Yeah,
delegate.
that's the word of the day, man.
I was waiting to
Delegate.
flash it up there.
But I really think I really think that Vandy game lit a fire though, and a lot of people around this program that we can't have this stuff anymore. We can't. We're better than this. This is not Tennessee football. And the first card to fall or first hat to fall was Tim Banks getting gone, and hiring an elite DC and Jim Knowles. And I hope the play calling duties can be the next one, and also go hard in the portal.
Yeah, we need to go hard in the portal. That is a must. You saw it this year. It affected us that we didn't have depth at certain spots on the field. So
So
yeah, I
young.
do. Yeah, and but that's not always a bad thing though. That your young guys are getting that playing time, like Perlotti and players like that, Ty Redmond. Like that's a good thing though. Like I'm not taking that away because you play that young, and you saw them get better throughout the season too. It's like they got better, and the game will start to slow down the more reps they get, and they got a lot of reps because of injuries. So that plus if you hit the portal, that is a really good thing that they got that much playing time
Mm-hmm.
because the whole Tim Banks experiment last season was still this season, but uh, it came to an end because it was so bad. The players are so bad. So now that they get that experience and they got a new coordinator coming in with possible depth pieces added through the portal, like that's a good thing that they got those reps. Like that,
Mm-hmm.
it's always good. That's why you want bowl games because you want those extra practices for these young guys to get reps and learn and learn and learn. So when
Yeah.
you roll into next season, Perlotti and Ty Redmond, they're gonna be solid players. Like they're gonna be important pieces to your
Yeah.
defense. So that's also a a positive about I guess of not hitting the portal that hard. But then again, I just don't think this year would have really mattered with Tim Banks is at the helm of the defense, no matter who you got. Like I don't
I
think it
mean,
mattered really who you
I
had.
mean, we can't. I
It's just
can't
not
argue
good.
though. I can't argue though. Like it hit a lot of his flaws in the 2024 season. Honestly, the thing that stood out the most about this defense to me was that they couldn't shut down the run. Like we always got beat in the middle passing wise. We always had safeties that couldn't tackle. We last season we were pretty elite with Jerron McCoy at corner, but one consistency throughout the Hyper era was kind of the ability to shut down the run. I
Mm,
feel like teams like couldn't run all over us, and this year, man, they ran all over us, man.
yeah,
That was that was a bit of I think it was a bit of missing like those big boys like Elijah Simmons and Amari Thomas. I feel like they ate up space, and those
yeah,
I think those guys were here the entire Hyper era pretty much.
yeah.
Yeah, those are pro recruits. So
But
I
but
think
you
you're
bring
missing
in
those two, and I think that's in my opinion you need to hit the portal hard at D line
and
because
linebacker. I think linebacker. You need some linebackers because Arian Carter's gone. You need to get someone like a uh, Peely or someone like that's older that can come in and just immediately be plugged in and be like, okay, I know how to be the quarterback of the defense. But you have Perlotti, of course, coming back, and T Lander should be back, and those are two pieces that you're gonna have to rely on, which isn't like the greatest thing, but it's not horrible. But then you have the two top linebackers and pretty much in the country coming in for this upcoming season as freshmen, so they'll still be young there. So we need to hit the portal and linebacker and just about almost everywhere on defense. I feel like our offense is gonna be fine. Our offense is gonna be fine. Like so, you're right. Like
yeah,
we need to hit defense more than
I wonder
anything.
if you can get Lance Hurd back and
Yeah, I know
I know,
that's
I
one
know, I
thing. Yeah,
know, I know. David Sanders wants to play left tackle. I know that because it in the NFL it typically pays more, and that's a big selling point. And we kind of told him it would be a spot when Hurd's gone, and but we can tell him, you'll be that left tackle in 2027 when Hurd isn't here anymore. But if we can somehow keep Sanders at right tackle and keep Hurd at left tackle next season, that would be absolutely amazing.
be huge.
I know. I think you lose Moy. Do you
Mhm.
lose Wendell Moy?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you
yeah,
do. So, but I
he's
think
gone.
Umarov or could probably slide in that spot, and Jesse Perry will have another year. I think Pendleton's got another season. Um, so I don't think you need to hit the portal for a lineman. Maybe one lineman. I don't know. I don't know. Umarov has to do something at some point.
Yeah,
That guy's too much of a great talent. He's been here for a while. I feel like and I don't think he did terrible when we put him in. I, I really. Do you think we should consider a new conditioning coach?
yes. There's too many injuries, man. There's just too many injuries. There's too many injuries. Too many. I feel like this has a lot to do with the defensive coordinator too, but the arm tackling and just getting ran over and when you're trying to do the arm tackling, like They don't seem very strong. They're always getting injured. They don't seem as big and tough as the big boys out there. It seems like they kind of just get ran through.
Well, someone said that our basketball and baseball team kicked the crap out of our football team.
Yeah, yeah, probably. I wouldn't doubt
Like,
it.
I mean, they don't look like they're in their best shape
Yeah, but
down the
yeah,
stretch.
yeah, I do agree. Something needs to happen in that conditioning room because the injuries they just pile up, man. They just keep piling up. But anyway, so Tennessee made the moves to make the team better. I applaud it. I like it. Needed to be made for sure, and it was made pretty quickly. It didn't take that long.
And, do you want to do a quick transition to this new schedule we got released?
Yeah, we can do that. We
Because
we can do that. We can do that, and then
we need. Sorry.
we'll go through the schedule, and then we'll talk really quick about Diego Pavia in the Heisman, and then I want to look at the coaching carousel because I'm really interested and intrigued to talk about that too because all the coaches are in a place now that are set for next year. But let me pull up the schedule here. Do you have the schedule pulled up, Austin?
Yes.
Okay, go
Oh
ahead.
my God.
But
Okay.
the majority of those games are at home,
They
which
are.
is a kind of shocked me a little bit.
Well, we are talking about how we need to get better at a lot of areas this season. And that better happen because you're gonna get tested. Okay, so you open with Furman. Okay, whatever. Week 2, you go to Atlanta, Bobby Dodd Stadium against the fighting Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. I don't know. Obviously, Haynes King is gone. So what they
Mhm.
got at QB, what they got all over. I know Brent Key's been recruiting pretty well there, but I think you should probably pull that off if all goes well. And it's like they're not insanely difficult to beat, I feel like. But week 3, you get home against Kennesaw State, whatever. Um, then after that, it's home against Texas, then home against Auburn, then at Arkansas, then home against Bama, then at South Carolina, bye week on Halloween, Kentucky, at A&M, homecoming or senior day against LSU, and then you finish it off in Nashville against the Commodores. So that's the
It's
most
a gauntlet.
loaded home slate I've ever seen in my life.
It's a gauntlet, but that dude. Yeah, the home schedule is music to my ears because the schedule isn't, but just the competition coming to Neyland is awesome. Like those are they're
You're
all big games.
you're getting your money's worth. I
You're
mean,
getting
I
your
could
money's worth.
if I sold my tickets, like I could probably um, definitely double and maybe then some what I pay. And I pay a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I pay a lot for season tickets. We all do. And but you could definitely on the secondary market come out in the green pretty easy. This is yeah, man, Texas. You've never had Texas in Neyland Stadium, and that's your SEC opener. That's gonna
That's
be game
insane.
day, obviously, probably there.
Probably.
That'll be Arch Manning, probably, right? I gotta
Yeah.
say
Oh
so.
yeah.
I don't think he's
Yeah.
going to the NFL.
No, he ain't good. No, hell no.
And so that's gonna be a showdown of epic proportions. You better freaking win that game, man. You better win that game. I don't want
That's
to
gonna be a
lose to
tough one,
Texas.
bro. That'll be
Hoping the
tough.
SEC play against the Manning. I hope it's kind of like when they went to the swamp. They just weren't really ready for that. But I'm sure all these schools want to improve, so I'm sure they're gonna address all their issues in the off season. Then you get after that you play your ex coordinator, your the fortunate son, Alex Golish comes back to Neyland Stadium, the place where he made his name, and he comes with DJ Durkin, and he'll have Tim Banks up in the booth. Uh, that's gonna be. Do you think they try to pick off our roster a little bit in the portal?
Nah, who's gonna go there
I
from
don't
our
know.
roster?
Obviously, I can see like a Caleb Beasley, some guys that just will be fighting for playing time here,
That's
but
fine. Whatever. Go. I don't care. Like, if you're not playing, I don't care. Like, just go.
that
It doesn't bother me.
Just trying to see the motivation behind the Tim Banks hire because I don't know about his position coaching pedigree. It's not quite I'd
I don't get
say
it either.
elite by many standards, but that's a man. Talk about two games you really it would suck to lose those two games.
Oh,
It really
duh.
would. obviously, but like it would just it's not like Georgia. Like Georgia, I hate losing to them, but also it's like okay, they're really good and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
whatever. But this is Texas for the first time and a Manning, and then you get Auburn, your ex coordinator. You can't lose to this guy first
No,
year, and
no.
then you go back to a place that you had a really bad time at Arkansas. First year head coach Ryan Silver or what's his name?
Silverfield,
Silverfield.
Silverfield.
Yeah, the
We'll get to
the
that. We'll get to
the
that in the
mill
coach
the mill of
carousel.
Memphis coaches. But you better win that game. They better be awful. And this game kicks off at 12:30 on the SEC network. You better just win that game. And then you get third Saturday in October. Uh, I don't know what that's going to look like. Who the hell
I have
knows who's
no.
coaching Alabama? Um, we'll get to that later. And then you get South Carolina, a little bit of a house of horrors. Yeah, your first two road games, well, outside of Georgia Tech, your first two conference road games are places that kind of put a bad stink on your season in
It puts a bad.
22 and
It
24.
puts a bad stink. Yes, I agree. But our road games are not that difficult. So I'm glad that we get the difficulty at home.
Yeah,
The all the difficulty is here. It's not there. So when I looked at that schedule, and I brought this up, it looks like a gauntlet, that schedule. But the majority of the country, if you look at their schedule, everyone has a gauntlet of a schedule in the SEC. It's insane. Like next year's, it's insane.
you
But
have to change the parameter of the playoff with it like
it's
this.
it's
You need
insane.
the top 12 teams. You need the top 12
Just
teams.
the top 12.
You can't have me go through this and say, well, you were 10-2, but Liberty won their conference and blah 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 blah. No, screw you, motherfucker. We are
Yeah,
in the playoff. I will
yeah.
cut your neck open. I beat
I that
LSU,
that whole dude.
Alabama,
Listen,
Texas.
that whole JMU Tulane bullshit. That's got to change. That is the biggest load of shit I've ever seen in my life. JMU getting in the playoffs. Like, give me a damn break. Like, stop with this BS, man. They're gonna get beat by 40. It's like they're a triple. That's what I'm about to say, triple digit, like a triple touchdown underdog. Like that's insane. Why? That should tell you everything you need to
I'm gonna
know.
take JMU plus 101.
I'm gonna throw. I'm gonna throw
Like they'll
five
throw a
bucks.
little mercy out there.
I'm gonna throw $5 on JMU just for the hell of it. But my God, they are gonna get absolutely just boat raced. It's not. It's going to be so easy. Their defense is trash. Like it's utter trash. And the JMU Tulane, I could maybe a little bit understand, but they're still going to get shit rocked. Like it's not going to happen. Why are we putting these teams in the playoffs?
Here's my
do the
here's my
top 12, like you said.
here's my thing though. You'll want to say like, oh, the G5 needs to be included. And if you really believe that, then I mean, undefeated G5 team will probably be in the top 12. That's what they would be. Like
Usually,
Cincinnati made it in the old four team system. And didn't we have another? Boise State would have been last year, I'm pretty sure. It's pretty realistic to be like in the top 12 if you're a one loss or undefeated, the best AAC or Mountain West team. It's not
yeah,
insane. Maybe schedule like a Baylor or someone, maybe a couple of those and have yourself a worthwhile resume. If you're good enough, then you'll be there, man. It's not that we don't
I
have to
agree.
tailor make this for you.
And I think that's what is what Kirk Hershey said too. It's like there is no reason. Almost every analyst said this. Like it should just be the top 12. There is no reason for these teams to be in here. They don't have they don't belong. I'm sorry. This isn't basketball. You don't have a shooter's chance. You're going to get your ass whooped.
Mm-hmm.
They have the best talent in the country. You have the worst talent in the country. And no coach. You could have Nick Saban coach JMU. He's still losing by 30. Like that's just how it's going to be. Like you don't have that.
Do you think they do crap like this just so they can say, well, it's clear we have to expand it to 16 teams, like
I
use it
don't
as like
know.
a excuse to do that? Because I don't really want 16 teams.
I,
I
I,
understand why it might happen. I understand it. I'm not too angry about it. It's just like because the bowl system's just a complete and utter joke at this point, and we all know that. So I guess we're just going to 16 teams, but I don't like that they're being all coy and all messed up with this right now. Like, okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
in all fairness, I think it would be great to see Notre Dame in the playoff because I think they could win it all. I really do. I really believe Notre Dame might have been the best team in the country
Nope. But then you got
down the
JMU.
stretch.
JMU's getting in instead.
But at the same time, I
Crazy.
think it's hilarious. Pavia has to sit there and um, just all his 5'9" and under peeps get to sit there and bitch and moan, and I mean it's funny.
Let's
It's funny this year.
let's talk about it. Let's talk about Pavia. Let's talk about the whole fiasco of the Heisman. And you said Pavia is like 5'9" peeps. The photo that came out of him and his brothers walking in, and someone saying that if Axe body spray was a photo,
Yes.
Pavia and his brothers walking in the Heisman thing.
He's the cringiest human being. Like he is nothing Johnny Manziel was in 2012. I don't
No.
care what anyone says. It just doesn't have that same
Feel.
whatever to it. We it's so forced too. Like when he did the whole bracket thing where it was like him, Lamar Jackson, Johnny Manziel, RG3, Cam Newton, and he's like, who's better of all these guys? And every time I was like, Cam Newton. Are you better than Cam Newton? He's like, yes. And I'm just like, are you
That is insane.
absolutely like
Cam Newton.
I get the
Cam
whole
Newton was
shtick at this point, but
yeah, Cam Newton was a generational college football talent. A generational. Like that is he is Cam Newton literally took Auburn to the national title by himself.
I will take
By
Cam
himself.
Newton in whatever Medea outfit he's wearing right now over your ass any day of the week.
Dude, he's one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen in college for that 1 year. Like, holy cow. I'll never forget the Alabama game. When Alabama was beating the dog breaks off of Auburn. And then Cam Newton was like, you know what? I'm tired of not scoring, so I'm just going to watch this. Comes back and beats them. Just beats them. Just comes back and beats them. I remember I worked at a sports clothing store at the time back in the day. And Alabama fans came in wanting to buy Alabama gear because they were beating Auburn so bad. And I remember telling them, like, that game ain't over, guys. Like, get Cam Newton there. And they laughed in my face. I remember them. They laughed. And I wish I could, like, see him come back into the store after the game. But, like, he was one of the best quarterbacks ever. So, yes, the Pavia thing. And here's the reason why you didn't win Heisman. And I believe, and I'm just going to say it right now, Pavia was the best quarterback, I think, in the country. Like, I do. I do. I think he was. I think he was. You put him on any really good team, I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. But here is a qualification for the Heisman. Integrity and things like that are in the subscription. In the Heisman voter, that's how they vote. That's one of the things. Integrity and things of that nature. You saying right after F all the voters, that's the reason you didn't win.
Okay.
Your shtick, like you just said.
Well, now you're gonna make me defend Diego Pavia. I don't think I think Mendoza over him. I think Mendoza did what he had to do in games. Diego did what he had to do in games, and Fernando didn't have to play out like he didn't have to rack up every stat in the world to beat teams. Yeah, it was a lot. They were beating teams anyway. They in multiple ways. I would take him though over Pavia. Here's my thing. There's one quote I actually agree with Diego Pavia, and it's F all the Heisman voters, because that is the biggest sham of a voting process I've ever seen. When Hendon Hooker didn't get invited to New York City in 2022, that was the biggest joke I've ever heard in my life. These guys don't watch football if you're saying Stetson Bennett's better than Hendon Hooker. Okay, so I don't have respect for the Heisman voters, just to be fair. But so I'll agree with Pavia there. I don't agree with him anywhere else. I think he's a total brainless moron. I think he's a pretty good football player, not top 10 all-time SEC QB or nothing like that. He's like, I don't know. Do you think he's the best quarterback in the SEC this year?
Yes.
I think Ty Simpson. I think he's better than Ty Simpson.
Yes, he's better this year. Yes, he's better. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Like, you can't deny it. He is. He's one of the best.
He's top 5.
He talks shit and he backs it up. But that's the reason why he didn't win, is because he talked so much crap and he wouldn't shut up. There's a point where you got to just shut up. Like, okay, we get it.
It was
Like,
so
you're already
weird how he did it too. It was like
it was odd.
it was like it was just so cringy. I don't know what it was. The way he went about this whole process, it was like it was so fake too. It was just very fake and very just forced, and the family deal. I mean, college football never is lacking entertainment. It never does.
It is.
And my favorite thing is like, this is all the things Vandy fans bitched and moaned about that we did under Vitello. They're like, "Oh, you have no respect for the game." Blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. Well, actually, we actually were very like Drew Gilbert was the biggest like a-hole on the field. He was. His whole attitude on the field. He had a big attitude on the field. But if you ever met him or any interview he did, he was like the most humble kid in the world. Like bring him. You would not have a problem with him dating your daughter. Like he was an ultimate like super humble dude. And like Pavia is like, I'm just gonna be the extreme in both areas. And Vandy fans just loving it. Like, oh, thought that was like something we shouldn't want. I thought that was like something that's bad for the game. And this is where makes you a bad guy. But like if you're extreme in every area, I guess, and to the point of it's just cringy and whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
I get it.
Good for him.
Good for him. All right, let's get to our last segment of the podcast. I want to go to the coaching carousel. Who did well and who didn't? Give them a grade. Give them an A to F. A to F grade. I'm going to go through the list of the coaching carousel because Matt Campbell pretty much sealed the last big time coaching search, except for
I don't know, man. And
Michigan.
I'm holding out. I'm holding out because Michigan.
There's
but who
wants to go
there's
there?
a coach. There's a coach they could hire though, and we could be right back in our big cycle.
I know, but I'm not touching that job.
Are we? You know what I'm talking about? It's the boy down in Tuscaloosa. Do you think he'd do it?
Dude, I think that's a whole bunch of crap rumors.
Why would you want to go? Like
oh my God, who cares? Do people talk to his wife on a daily basis? Like that's stuff that gets under my skin. It gets under
there's a little smoke, and there's some smoke around Sarkisian and the Titans and Marcus Freeman and the Giants. So there could still be some. This could be the biggest cycle in the history of time. This really could be. It's not. It might already be.
There's always a lot of smoke at the end of a season, every freaking year. But we'll see what happens. But I'm going to go down these, okay? A to F higher here. Virginia Tech hires James Franklin. Give it a grade.
A.
Agreed. Why?
I mean, that's literally the hire Virginia Tech needs it. Okay, if you are Ohio State, if you're Michigan, if you're Tennessee, if you're Alabama, if you're a team that really wants a championship right now, this may not be the hire for you because Franklin's kind of, I mean, he's had a long time at Penn State, arguably top 10 job, a job where you have the resources to win championships. In my opinion, you have the resources there, and he hasn't done it. But you know what he's shown throughout his career is that he can get you to 9-10 wins. He can get you there. It can happen. And Lord Almighty, Virginia Tech needs that. And I was talking to a buddy who he said his dad's a Virginia Tech fan. And he's like, his dad said, "Well, Franklin doesn't win the big games." And his reply was, "Yeah, but Virginia Tech doesn't play any big games."
Yeah,
you can go undefeated with no big wins.
Well, just think though.
Maybe Miami. I don't know.
Just think so. Virginia Tech, dude, that's a good job. And I'm going to get to a part that we kind of had an argument earlier in the day about home run hire. That for that program, that is a home run hire. Like James Franklin is a home run hire for Virginia Tech. You could not have found anyone better. Not just like in the coaching carousel right now, but in the country. Like I don't even think Lane Kiffin would have fit in there. I think James Franklin going there is the most perfect fit. He's not going to be under this immense pressure. He's not. He's going to go there. He's going to get players, and he's going to succeed. He's going to do well. Like that's what he's going to do. I feel like when James Franklin, like when he was at Vanderbilt, wasn't under a whole lot of pressure, and he succeeded there. and he won just about as many games as he does every year at Penn State at Vanderbilt. And that's when Vanderbilt was down. So A+ higher. I agree. A+ higher. All right, let's move on. LSU, Lane Kiffin.
Oh, that's an A+ higher. I mean, I'm just gonna. I mean, it was a
There's no
Lane
need.
Kiffin sweepstake. Yes, you are bringing with he when you hire Lane Kiffin, what comes along? It's the Lane Kiffin drama. He's gonna probably flirt with the Cowboys or some crap like that. He's gonna put some posts on social media. You're just gonna have a dog that he doesn't actually have and run the social media page for it. He's going to maybe hit on your daughter. I don't know. He's gonna do some crap. But you know what he's also gonna do is he's gonna win football games and be just like I mean we had one season of Lane Kiffin. Okay, we had it though, and it was fun. I'm not gonna lie. He's a fun guy when he's on your side. He's fun. Okay, and I think this is the best job he's had because like Tennessee, we were in a good spot when he landed here, but it he was so young, and then USC they were under probation. This is the best situation he's ever had, especially with 25 million, probably maybe even more in NIL to work with. It's a great hire. This is no doubt in my mind. This is a great hire, and can't wait to see him on senior day.
Agreed. I think it's A+ higher. You couldn't. That's the best coach you could have pulled besides like Kirby Smart from Georgia or Brian Day or something like that. That's the best one you could have gotten out of anyone. And so yes, that you did the best out of anyone. You got the guy. That guy is going to flourish down there at LSU. So I give it an A. Goalish to Auburn.
Okay, this is potentially could be amazing, but there's a bit unproven with Golish. I think it's a great hire. It's a great hire. I'll give it a solid B. I think you hired, the best G5 guy you could have found, a really up and coming dude. Everywhere he's done well, though, I will say, like, I don't think he really did play calling here. He did a lot of good things here, but it wasn't play calling. That really was Heupel's deal. And he went to USF. He got them going. He got 9-3 eventually, but I will say they have the most resources probably in that conference. So he had good situations. I feel like he did well in good situations. So I don't have proof that he's just a total like I'm gonna fix this program, no problem. Auburn, all your worries are gone. I'm your football savior. That I don't know if that's necessarily him. I think he did a great move with keeping DJ Durkin, and I think he did quite a weird move with hiring Tim Banks. But whatever.
Yeah, that's an odd move. I give it a B+. I think it's fine. I think that he's going to bring a toughness to Auburn that they need. He's going to make the players tough. He gets in chews people's asses out. He just chews them out. Like he doesn't sit on just being good. Like he wants to be really good, and he's going to let you know that if you're not good, he's going to chew your ass out. So I think it's a B+ hire. I don't think it's an A, but I think it could turn into an A if things play out the way I think they can play out with Auburn. But Golish is a good head coach, man. He's a good head coach. I think he'll do fine. He'll do fine. John Summerall, Florida.
This is
I can't judge this one.
I don't know. He kind of feels like Billy Napier.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel like Billy Napier, but like I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where I don't know. Florida, it feels like a Florida hire, doesn't it?
Here. Okay. His style. I'm a big proponent on style of play. And when you get to a certain point in your career, you can't really run that style anymore. And Tulane is it's kind of reminded me of Josh Heupel earlier in his tenure. A very finesse type offense. Very finesse, very try to beat you with speed, try to beat you with, finesse-ness. Unless he changes and adapts, because Heupel came in kind of like that, but he's adapting. He's getting bigger players. He's getting bigger bodies. He's getting more muscle than he's had. He's done it in the last couple of years. So if John Summerall can adjust to big
He's
boy
a
life in the
he's a
SEC,
defensive coach, so I don't know that you don't know
I'm
what
just
he's doing. I don't
I'm
know what he's doing at OC. I know he thought about hiring Golish.
well
So
I'm talking about I'm just talking about in general, like the style that he ran.
yeah.
That won't translate to Florida. Like, it just won't. So he needs. I mean, I'm gonna give it a B. I'm gonna give it a B minus. I don't know
I'll
how he'll do. I don't know how to judge that yet.
I'll give it a
I
B. This is actually, I mean, okay, he's been a head coach for 4 years prior to this. He was at Troy, and he went a total of 23-4, won his conference 2 times in 2 years. So he won it every year at Troy. Then he took the Tulane job. They went 9-5 his first year, finished second, and then this year they went 11-2 and won the AAC. So that's like, I mean, where he's been, he's done about as good as he could do. Do I think he was a good jobs for those levels? Yes, I think those are
the
some of the
level, yeah,
better. I think Troy, I mean, Troy's still winning after he left, and Tulane was winning before he got there.
exactly.
So it's places where, I'm not saying this about him at all, but that was kind of like what Butch Jones did. Butch Jones took over good situations in Central Michigan and Cincinnati and kept it going. But then again, if you're a great coach, then that's exactly what you would have done, you know? So it's
Well, we were talking
we'll
about this
see.
earlier. It reminds me. It reminds me of the Memphis effect. All the coaches that went, from Memphis, to Virginia Tech didn't work out. Memphis coach to Florida State worked out the first, second, or third. I can't remember what year he went undefeated. But ever since then, it's been terrible, and they want him gone. So
Okay.
it's just I don't trust those coaches yet. I don't know.
I'll give him
They
a
got
little credit. I
they got to
didn't
show
realize
me.
Troy had 3 bad years in a row before he got there. So, okay, he turned Troy around a little bit. So he's turned a program around before, which is, more than a lot of these coaches can say.
Yeah,
Um, I'll give it a B. I'll give it a B.
that's about what I got.
I'd say it's about
I
equal
mean,
to Golish. Golish has, a little more SEC recent experience, I'd say, and
mhm.
but then again, Summerall has more head coaching experience. But I will say, like, I don't know, it just has a lot of flavor. Billy Napier, I guess, and we
Yeah,
all saw
I
how
get that.
that went.
Ryan Silverfield, Arkansas.
It's it's what it is, I mean, I don't know. It's
It's
just
a
it's a
C
guy.
minus, C for me, man. That's like I
Give it a C. You didn't hire
man. I just don't think it's
like
good.
you didn't hire the D line coach at like Georgia Tech, but you hired a guy that was a head coach.
Memphis fans. Well, I'm from Memphis, and so I know a lot of Memphis fans, and they were tired of him. Like they didn't think it was very good. They were kind of over it because he could never just win the games that like he would lose. He lost to UAB and teams like that, and I think he had like a 500. I think it was like 50-25 or something like that his time there. So it was an okay record. It was a 500, not 500, but he was 50-25, and he would
Man,
always lose games to teams that were just like bad. Like people would always be like, oh man, they'll go out and compete against Arkansas and then turn around and lose to freaking UAB. Like that's just kind of like I don't know. I don't trust it. I think it's a bad hire. I don't think it's good at all. I'm gonna give
I'm
it a
not gonna
C minus.
I'm not gonna straight up say it's a bad hire because
I
you
think it's
don't
bad.
know. It's one of those hires you don't really know what this guy is totally yet, and he probably doesn't even know.
So you're coming to an SEC school. That makes it bad to me if you don't know. I don't know about this guy. So let's hire him to an SEC program. I
Arkansas football, man, they're just I mean, they thought they had
ugh,
Golish. They had Golish hired. They had Golish hired. They
that's
had everything
crazy.
but the name on the dotted line. And then
That's
Auburn
nuts,
had to
man.
come after him, and they thought they had Franklin hired, and then Franklin, turned them down for Virginia Tech. So man, if you're an Arkansas fan, I don't know what to tell you at this point. It's just kind of you got to pray this just works out somehow. I mean, you don't know.
Yeah,
There's a lot of unknown. We can't act like we know everything about this guy yet. So it's some unknowns, but yeah, I'll give it a C.
yeah.
It's a well, this guy's winning. in the lower tier conference. I mean, he is
Mm.
that's from the same footprint as Arkansas, so that you got that. I'm trying to think of anyone you could have hired. I don't really know of anyone. Or you could have hired uh Rent
It's
Lashley
well,
from SMU, but I don't,
it's
he might
what
have turned you down too. So I
it's
don't
what you
know.
said though. You had guys, you had Golish and you had James Franklin. Those are your two guys, and you just fumbled the ball on both of them. Like fumbled the ball on
Well,
both of them. So
they both said, "Hey, I got a better job here," and they went and took those better
uh,
jobs because
yeah,
Arkansas is just kind of that job
yeah.
right now.
Will Stein with Oregon, former
Uh,
Will Stein.
taking the Kentucky job.
So yeah, Will.
Doesn't
Sorry, I said Oregon. Former
he was a
Oregon offensive coordinator.
he was a QB at Louisville, if I'm correct. Back in his heyday. That's actually I mean, for what Kentucky, I think when Kentucky realized they had a guy kind of like that would take the job. That's why they hired Mark Stoops or fired Mark Stoops.
Mm-hmm.
That's a I'll go B minus higher. For Kentucky, it's damn
I'm
near
gonna
an A.
go. I'm gonna go B minus 2. I have a friend that's an Oregon fan, and I asked him about it. I was like, "What do you think about the hire of Will Stein to Kentucky?" And he wanted to tell Kentucky fans, "Get ready for all the screen passes because you're going to see 500 of them in a game." So get ready for that. So I give it B minus maybe.
They
We'll
just
see how
need
that
some fresh. They need some fresh blood.
they God
They needed it. They need a guy that's just young and
they did something different. Like that
confident.
was
Like you
just
need. And,
they
and
were.
if you want to go the Dan Lanning branch to find someone, that's a
Mhm.
good way to go.
Here's one that no one's talking about. Pat Fitzgerald going to Michigan State
Damn.
from Northwestern.
What is that the last thing he did? Because I know he got fired there because of some controversy, and I forget the exact details of it. It was some like
I
player hazing. It felt very weak that they fired him over that.
it felt like they did an out to fire him.
Yeah.
It was hazing. It was player hazing. It was.
Last thing he did was he was a volunteer assistant for 2 years at some
Yeah.
Catholic high school in Illinois.
But what do you give that? Because that's intriguing. Pat Fitzgerald at Michigan State. That's intriguing.
I'll go B plus. That's a
Yeah,
great
me
hire.
too.
I mean,
Me too. I think it's
for
good for
what he
Michigan
did at
State.
Northwestern,
Yes.
I mean that I mean, that's crazy. They fired him like that because he was one of the best players in school history too. And he was there from his I think he took the job. He was like 31, and
Crazy,
just
man.
had them in the. I mean, they played for the Big Ten championship. I think like 3 or 4 times in his time there. He had them year in year out solid. He had a little
I'm
bit of a downturn down the stretch, but
I'm
man,
curious. I'm curious to see it because it could go one or two ways. It could just like work out pretty well or just go terrible. Like I don't think there's an in between. I think it's going to either be awful or good. There's no like medium ground there. But I'm going to give it a B plus 2. I think that is a solid hire. That's a good hire. Like
right.
he's going to bring toughness to. They're just going to look like a Big Ten team. That's what they're going to look like. Just a big bodied slow team.
This is probably the hire that I could see Wisconsin making. Like, because Wisconsin probably wants to go back to what they were doing,
Mhm.
because it's just going, finesse more creative offense with Luke Fickle is just it's not working out. Um, but yeah, it's a good
Eric
hire.
Eric Morris, Oklahoma State.
That's
A plus
that's a
for
good
me.
hire.
A plus for me.
Is he the guy that built Oklahoma, North Texas?
He was North Texas head coach. Eric Morris. I think that's a really good hire, and he's bringing his quarterback with him.
It's
If I don't think I'm mistaken. I think he's bringing his quarterback with him from North Texas, and North Texas was one of the most highest scoring offenses in the country, and that's what freaking Oklahoma State is known for is their high scoring offenses. So I think replacing Mike Gundy with Eric Morris is a pretty good one.
it's a good hire.
I think
It's
it's I
good.
think it's
I'm
A
not
plus
gonna
for them. A
A
plus for them.
plus.
I think A plus. I do.
I'll go B. It's a good B hire. I mean, yeah, for what the situation there, and I don't know how good he'll do really though, because I gotta hear Oklahoma State's committed to winning, because the reason Mike Gundy really failed down the stretch was that he didn't have much money at all to work with in NIL,
Well,
especially after T. Boone Pickett passed away.
North Texas
It's
don't either. So
I know, but to me, though, this is just we're just grading these AAC guys. Who knows how good they really are until they're a few years in.
Huh, yeah. I mean, I don't disagree, but I'm gonna go with A+. I think that's for Oklahoma State to go out and be like, hey, we want you, and nobody else to get him. Like, I think he would have been good at Arkansas. Like, he would have been fine at Arkansas. Like, but Arkansas didn't even touch him with a 10-foot pole.
Right, because they're too focused on James Franklin. And
Like,
then
that's
once
crazy.
they got turned down by him and Golish, they were just like, oh,
Well, it's you watch them and they
Memphis.
get college. Did they get college game day and stuff like that? I can't remember during the season. It was like,
Yeah, they were weird though. They had like a couple bad losses. I remember this year. Let's see, they were in the air raid. They lost the championship game to Tulane, but it was oh yeah, they lost to USF 63-36. That was what I was thinking about.
yeah. Well, that's
And
against one of
then
the better coaches in this ranking we got here. But
yeah, I mean it's not a bad hire. It's
I
just
think it's
I'm
good, man.
not gonna act like I honestly you're gonna rarely see me see a group of five coach hired and just say it's a home run hire because I don't know.
All right, our last one. Matt Campbell to Penn State.
A plus. I think. I mean, Matt Campbell.
We went. Me. Let's get this argument out of the way. And I'm not. Well, I don't spend too much time on it. You say A plus. I'm going to say it's a. I'm going to say it's a B because you said earlier in our text that you say this was a home run hire.
Mm-hmm.
I don't consider Matt Campbell as a home run hire. And I said that. I say that because I told you the word goat and home run get overplayed. You can roll your eyes all you want to. But again, if our fan base is sitting here, oh, we fire Heupel tomorrow and we go out and get Matt Campbell, no one's going to be like, oh, man, this is a home run. Like, it's not a home run. It's fine. It's good. But saying it's a home run hire.
Did you just call Eric Morris a home run hire?
For Oklahoma State. This is Penn State. I'm talking about the program, which is why I said James Franklin is a home run hire for Virginia Tech. That's a home run hire for that program. For Penn State, I don't think that's a home run hire for Penn State. Because when you have to go out and get...
From where they were, I think it's a home run hire.
You're making a lateral move. It's not a home run hire. You think Matt Campbell's better than James Franklin?
He could be.
Do you think?
I don't know. He was at the toughest job in America, in my opinion. Iowa State, you're in a conference where you have location-wise and resource-wise, you're worse than everyone else. Like everyone else in that conference is closer to talent than you are, and you're expected to compete at a high level with them. And you got them to a point where they're almost in the playoff. You won a Fiesta Bowl there. You finished in the top 10. You're really good there. You did as good as anyone could do at Iowa State, in my opinion. And from all I've heard, you have a great culture. You have just throughout the industry too. People, I've heard how amazing this guy is. Like he's heavily regarded in the industry as just being a stand-up guy, just a great coach. Also, I cannot stress enough how bad that job is. It's such a tough job. It's legitimately you're the second best job in like a state that produces like maybe three Big Ten SEC caliber players per year, maybe. And that's just if these corn-fed boys can be good old linemen. Outside of old linemen, that state doesn't produce crap, and you're never going to get the top tier because Iowa's getting all that. So you're just gonna have to just figure it out pretty much. That's all he has to do. He has to go and recruit this whatever in Ohio, whatever in Texas, try that. Yeah, I mean there's nothing all around you.
So now you got to go against Michigan and Ohio State.
Yeah, but you get to actually you can win some recruiting battles. Like you can like you're gonna get the best player in Pennsylvania probably.
So you think okay, so better head coach, James Franklin or Matt Campbell?
I don't know yet. Okay, I've never seen Matt Campbell coach at a program like Penn State.
Answer the question.
I don't know.
Who's better? Who do you think is better? A better head coach? Who do you think is better? Matt Campbell or James Franklin?
Franklin had some flaws, man. I don't know. That's a tough one. I'll go Matt Campbell.
See, now you're thinking about it. So that's lateral. You didn't just jump to immediately, oh, Matt Campbell. Like that, you didn't go, wham, Matt Campbell.
Okay. James Franklin's been at a program like that for so long. He's had all the time in the world to prove what he is as a head coach, and he's proven that he can't win the big games. He can't do that. Matt Campbell hasn't been at a big job. Like every time he's gone up against a tough team, he's had worse resources, and it's not even close. Like he's always going to have the worst team in the field overall talent wise.
Here's my counter
home run recruiting battles.
Here's my counter argument to that. You keep saying you don't know yet. So how the hell is that a home run hire if you don't know? You don't know. How is that a home run?
It's never unknown. It's rarely ever unknown.
A home run is getting
outside of Lane Kiffin. I said that.
That's a home run. That's a home run.
Number 2. Outside of all these other ones, I don't know. All the other ones, I don't know.
Not a home run.
I'm gonna say I guarantee you he'll at least get you to 9-3, and obviously that's not
a home run.
But that's the base. That's the base level. I think his ceiling could be undefeated national championship. I think it could be that. I think it's that could be on the table. This is a guy that got more from less every time, and if you're constantly,
you can say the same thing about Franklin. He was at Vandy. No. More than less. Yes, dude.
That's a long time ago, man. I'm talking about like what we're doing right now.
What's the difference?
He's had a
long time ago.
He's had plenty of time to
worse than they ever have been now.
Huh?
Vandy and the SEC.
Okay, let's be fair. He took advantage of a weak SEC East. Mark Richt didn't have Georgia running on all cylinders. South Carolina was up and down.
Vandy, bro.
We were a mess. Missouri was still in their infancy before, like that 2012 season was their 4-8 year.
And freaking,
he had 3 years there.
And then Campbell, and then who came in?
And who knows? He could have turned into 4-8 the next year and never got back. You don't know.
And then Derek Mason came in.
Matt Campbell was at Iowa State for a decade and had him year in, year out competing, and the ceiling was getting in the playoff basically.
My main point is I just don't think it's a home run hire like you think it is. Like I said, if Heupel gets fired today and we get Matt Campbell, no one's gonna be like, oh my God, what a home run. I mean, like that's not a home run. It's fine. It's good. It's not a bad hire. It's a good hire, but it's not a home run. Like you're not hitting a home run.
What is so much better about him? What is so much better about Lane Kiffin than Matt Campbell? Put that into words.
You can see he's done well everywhere he's gone in college.
Matt Campbell has.
You go. Lane Kiffin's in the SEC, bro.
Don't shit on my Toledo boys.
Lane Kiffin's playing the best in the country. He's playing the best teams in the world in college football.
Has Lane Kiffin ever truly rebuilt? I guess he did kind of rebuild Ole Miss.
Yeah, he did.
Oh.
So it's like Lane Kiffin's way better than Matt Campbell will ever be. Way better than he'll ever be.
Than he'll ever be. We know that? How do you know that? Okay, tell me this. Well, Lane Kiffin done that much better at Iowa State? I don't think so. Do you think you would have really?
He made FAU freaking good. What are you talking about?
Oh, you won with South Florida talent? How'd you do it? How'd you win in the hotbed of talent? How'd you do that? Dude, do you know how many freaking elite players in the state of Iowa? You know how many of them in driving distance? None. Hardly. Maybe some Chicago area guys. I don't know. Maybe. Just maybe. There's not really. There's not really crap.
Stupid argument.
That's a big argument. That's a big argument. Oh, Notre Dame? Notre Dame is a national brand. You can recruit Ohio. You can recruit Florida. You can recruit anywhere. You can recruit anywhere with Notre Dame.
What the hell? State. Hang on. Let's bring this back up. Okay? Real quick. Let's bring this back up. Brian Kelly in LSU. He's in Notre Dame. He can't get recruits there.
I didn't say he can't get.
And then he goes to LSU. I said what the fuck happened there, dude?
I said he couldn't get that top tier Southern talent. I always think when I always see him on the field with elite SEC teams, there's always that like giant linebacker, giant D lineman that you just don't get in the North.
But he went to LSU. What happened? It was so great there, right? Because he was a great, yeah. Because the talent gap is it's the talent, and Louisiana doesn't have the talent.
That was just a bad fit.
Oh God, no! Louisiana doesn't have the talent. They don't have the talent, man. What are you talking about?
Do you think Lane Kiffin would have won it at Iowa State?
Yeah,
like
he won at FAU, dude. Brian Kelly went to freaking.
He probably would have done okay.
Brian Kelly went to the most.
I don't think you ever take that job though.
I know, but what I'm saying is Brian Kelly went to I think the number 2 state in the country that produces NFL talent and was terrible. That's my main point. It's
They
like
weren't terrible. It was
they were bad, dude. They were bad. They were not good.
I mean,
They
he won a
couldn't beat
Heisman,
anyone.
but
They couldn't beat anyone.
I think his mainly issues were just like internal. I think it was a lot of
No.
problems from the up top, and Notre Dame is not a bad job, but like, or wait, hold on, I'm talking about Iowa State, and you some reason bring up Notre Dame, like that's not even.
I'm bringing up a
It's
talent,
not
dude.
even.
What are you talking about? You're talking about, oh, they don't have talent in Iowa. Well, Notre
Well,
Dame,
I didn't. I said
Notre
LSU has
Dame to
more
LSU
talent
is
than Notre
completely
Dame. I
different.
said Notre Dame has more talent than LSU. Iowa State comparing to Penn State is like comparing UTC to
You're missing the
Tennessee.
whole point. It's going right over your head.
No,
Going right over your
it's
head.
not even comparable. No, I see your point, but it's not. That's not comparable like that because those are
You talked about
there's like it's
talent.
like on a scale of 1 to 10, that's like an 8, and I put Notre Dame at an 8, and I put LSU at a 9 in terms of ability to get NFL talent.
You're talking about
And
the talent
if
gap
you put
here.
Iowa State and Penn State, I put like Penn State at 7.5. I put Iowa State at 1. Like literally, it is. I mean, what recruiting battle are you going to win? If you got a guy in Oklahoma City you really want, but Oklahoma and Oklahoma State want him too, you're losing. And Kansas City, if you got a big player you want there, you're losing. Iowa City, oh, actually, the in-state guys are here. The Hawkeyes are here. I'm losing. What recruiting? You're literally going to lose every single
So
recruiting
you
battle.
literally think their entire recruiting class comes from the state of Iowa? Like that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
No, it's a bit all over because it just kind of has to be. But it's never. You're never going to beat out like an elite school for a dude at Iowa State. You never are. You never are. And you don't have a bedrock of just like we were talking about Mississippi State earlier. Mississippi State, though, you're going to lose a battle to Alabama. You lose a battle to Ole Miss. You can lose a battle to LSU if they really want a player you're going after. But at the same time, you still get to recruit like Louisiana and Mississippi talent, though. And that's going to keep your base at a certain level. And if you hit a few home runs, you can be good. At Iowa State, it's just like, what the hell do you find? And if you won there consistently, man, that's just so impressive, man. It's so impressive to be year in year out good in your great culture and just have them. I mean, Iowa State's in like big ass games against Oklahoma. How does that even happen? Like in terms of resources, it shouldn't happen. And that's just my proof altogether. And you can read. I read a lot about it in Johnny Major's book he wrote when he was a head coach at Iowa State. It's so impossible to win there. Basically, it's similar to what Bill Snyder did at Kansas State. Obviously, that's an extreme example, but what he did at Iowa State's very remarkable, in my opinion, and it shows his chops as a head coach. And he was good at Toledo too. People don't forget that. And I think for Penn State, this guy's probably going to get the most out of what you have there. And if he gets the most out of what you have there, then you're in the playoff year in, year out, and you're probably going to beat Ohio State or Michigan, which is the thing that got James Franklin fired, really. If you want to really break it down, what got him fired, he couldn't beat Ohio State or Michigan in the big boy games. He just lose them. And I think, I mean, I don't have it right in front of me, his record against top 10 opponents. I'd say it's probably not elite because he's at Iowa State, but I think this guy gives you a shot to improve in there because he's gotten the most out of everything he's had everywhere.
I think it's gonna be a lot like James Franklin. I think it's gonna be very similar to James Franklin. Very similar. I just don't think that when all your other options tell you no, that you just go to him and that's all of a sudden a home run hire. Like if it's a home run hire, you go to him immediately, right?
I was shocked to hear he's taking the job. I really was because
Iowa State fans are getting frustrated with him. They're getting frustrated with him.
He just had him in the conference championship game, and it's Iowa State, man. I don't care. And
the fans are getting frustrated.
I think you put too much stock into the fans are frustrated. It's a bit of like, where are your expectations? Are they realistic for Iowa State? It's an A+ hire.
I'll say it's B+. I think people think Matt Campbell's like the. No, I don't think many people think like you do. I don't think people think Matt Campbell is as great as you think he is. I don't see it. Like I think he's fine, but the overhypeness of him is insane. Like you act like he's the next second coming of Christ.
When I woke up this morning, I did not know that I would be the president of the Matt Campbell fan club.
And apparently, you're an insider over there too. So it's like crazy.
It's stuff I've heard for years. It is, and I do have respect for what he does there. And I always thought, well, I don't know why this guy doesn't take a bigger job, and he finally did it. And it, I did want him when we were looking for a coach before we hired Heupel, and I wanted him when we were looking under Pruitt.
Would you take him now? Would you take him now over Heupel?
I still don't know what Heupel is. I still
would you take him over Heupel?
Like,
that's the
if
question.
you told me Heupel's fired right now and we hire him.
No. Would you take him over Heupel?
No.
Then it's not a home run hire.
Why not? I think Heupel's pretty damn good.
Then it's not a home run hire. It's not.
I think they're both quite similar in weird ways. Also not. And what do you mean? If I don't think you called Eric Morris a home run hire? What the hell are we doing here? And I'm talking about a hire. I'm talking about like what you had to work with, who you had to go after.
Oklahoma State, dude. Like, think of the program.
They made the best hire they could have probably made.
Oklahoma State.
If you do the best you can at hiring, that's an A+ home run hire.
We're talking about programs here, like Franklin and Virginia Tech.
Dude, Kalani Sitake turned them down, which I don't know. Like I take Matt Campbell over Kalani Sitake, and I'll take him over. I take him over basically almost everyone they went after, and I'll take him over James Franklin too. James Franklin, his clock management was so god awful, and just the inability to win big games and the offense year in year out, just dog crap. We couldn't. That was not sustainable, and I mean it was sustainable, but it wasn't like it wasn't what was going to get you over that hump. We got a couple other hires. You want to grade them, or you good?
What other hires?
Bob Chesney to UCLA, the JMU coach. I
don't care about them.
I'll give it a B.
Stupid.
Whatever.
I don't give it anything. UCLA, you're going to fail there miserably anyways. It doesn't matter. People don't care about football.
Yeah, true.
They don't care about football.
They'll pretend to care. It's weird. It's weird. They're like, they just do enough to like have a somewhat of a pulse. Yeah. It's like, oh, we'll spend some money here, I guess, as we drive an hour and a half through LA traffic to get to our stadium from our campus. Such a dumb program. That's a program that's never going to be nothing again.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see who takes the Michigan job. I'm curious to see that. So, what a mess.
Hey, man. I don't think that's the last major job that's going to come open.
We'll see. But anyway, man, good podcast. Great argument at the end. I love messing with your brain. It's fun. It's fun stuff. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks for the comments. We'll do it again next week. Or maybe I got to look at what is next week? What is December 14th? Monday of next week is the 22nd. So yeah, we can do a show. It's not quite Christmas yet. But we'll do a Christmas show. Let's do a Christmas show. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. Good podcast. We'll do it again soon. Good night. We'll all